And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Auto Club Speedway here in Fontana, California, as we get ready for race number 5 of Season 6 of the Oreo Truck Series. Today, we're getting ready for the running of the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes 225 lap event, getting ready to be run here. This is not only the 5th race of the season, this is also the cutoff spot, if you will, for non-commenters. I have been keeping a comment check, and there are a few drivers who actually are in jeopardy of losing their rides if they don't comment on this race or any of the previous 4 races that have come out here in the Truck Series. One of them actually starting on the pole position, so unless Kyle Sosnoski comments on this race, this may be the last time that we see Sosnoski on the pole position. He's going to start alongside of Prudence Littlejohn, our winner from Phoenix. Prudence comes into this race 10th in points. Daniel Day, who is 2nd in rookie points and 9th in overall standings, he's going to line up in position number 3. And in position 4 is Nick Bellardo, who is 4th in rookie points and 11th in overall standings. So right there, 3 rookies with good qualifying spots who are actually running right up around the 10th position in points. Talking, of course, about Littlejohn, Day, and Bellardo. Also, just quickly to say, if you're wondering if you are in jeopardy of the not comment rule and all that, I'm just going to be putting down in the description the drivers that are in jeopardy, and if your name's not on that list, you're still good to go. Alright, there aren't very many either, so don't worry about it. Probably, more than likely, it isn't you, but check the description just in case, just to make sure. Okay, so rounding up the top 5 for this race is going to be James Silverfox, 30th in points, and he's obviously looking for a good run today. Defending winner coming into this race, James McCloud. Looks like he's going to be starting quite a ways back there in his 30 machine. He's trying to go for 2 wins in a row. His win last week moved him up to 3rd in points, only 6 points behind points leader Jacob Lawler and 4 points behind 2nd in the standings, Dougie Shear. As a matter of fact, the top 4 in standings, well actually we could say the top 5 in the standings, are all separated by only 9 points. Lawler, Shears, McCloud, Poteet, and the rookie points leader, Felix Graves. So we're getting ready to get these cars rolling off. They'll complete a couple pace laps while they do that. We will show you the starting lineup for today's race. It's going to be an interesting one, too. This is a racetrack where they can go 3-4 wide and actually make it stick. So we'll see if that's going to be the case here today. Here they go. Everybody going to file on by. Here's your starting lineup for today's Frosted Flakes 200 live from Auto Club Speedway. As it said in the name, this is a speedway. A lot of high speeds going to be happening here today, and it's really a race where if you don't have a good truck, you're not going to be up front, so you got to have yourself a fast machine underneath you. We're going to see who's going to come out on top here today. Sosnoski and Littlejohn. Get ready to put us under the green. We are under the green flag here in Fontana, and Sosnoski and Littlejohn both got good starts there. Nobody really was caught napping between the front row. And Silverfox going to immediately dive down to the bottom. Here at Auto Club Speedway, the inside line is the preferred line. However, you can get a little bit of a run off of turn 2 and turn 4. And here comes Andy Timmons. Don't know if this is an aggressive move or a rookie mistake. We'll find out here in turn 3, but he's going to go 4 wide. Contact between the 17 and the 20. Now contact between the 4 and the 17. Oh my goodness, they were leaning on each other off that corner, and they still keep it together. And finally, Daniel Day is going to get ahead of Prudence Littlejohn, as Sosnoski is going to lead the first lap. Man, it's a wonder we didn't have a caution flag come out there on that very first lap. Here comes the defending champ, Chris Dollarton, making hay early on. Oh boy, they are really backing up around here. Look out. John Radigan come up the inside line, finished runner-up to James McCloud last week. Would love to be able to capitalize on the deal here today and pick up his first career Truck Series win. Stephen Pollard III is going to stick Dollarton in the middle, and I'll tell you who's loving this, and that's Kyle Sosnoski. Oh man, Alex DeMarco, Andy Timmons bouncing off each other. All contact again between the 27 and the 29. Two teammates there, and they still kept it together. And where is the points leader? He must be back in a hornet's nest right now. Oh, no, there he is right there in second. Jacob Lawler's working his way up here, and here comes last week's winner, James McCloud, to the front as well. Oh, I think I heard some scraping. I think we may have actually had a caution. They kept it together so long with aggressive racing, and now it finally seems the caution is going to come out here on lap number 3. So Sosnoski's going to be the leader, it looks like. Lawler's second. Dunlap-Pratt, I think, will be third, with McCloud in fourth, and Stephen Pollard, the third, will complete the top 5 as they come down here to our first caution flag. There is the caution waving over the hood of the Speed Energy Dodge. Let's see who was involved here. Oh, it was Chris Dollarton. Chris Dollarton in the 83, the defending champ, and actually 16th in points too, our winner from Daytona. Oh, Andy Timmons, man, he was having such a good run there, was racing aggressively. Alex DeMarco is there as well. Charles Sanford's got some damage. So this must have taken place pretty close up to the front of the field here, because we know that the 23, the 27, the 83, they were all up at the front of the field there for a majority of the opening stages of this race. So a tough break for them. They've got damage. Looks like Andy Timmons got the worst of it as he sits on pit road. Everybody else is riding damaged around the racetrack, and I was going to say we'll jump back to a replay, but everybody's diving down, indicating they're coming to pit road this early on lap 4 of 25, so we're going to stick around, see what kind of strategies could take place here. This early on in today's event here, Kyle Sosnoski, Jacob Lawler, Dunlap-Pratt, James McCloud, Stephen Pollard III, everybody coming down, with the exception of Brian James, and I think Charles Jackson stayed out as well. So some strategy being played out here. It'll be interesting to see in the long run what's going to happen. Brian James comes in 6th in the points, so he may be really eyeing something here today. Charles Jackson, after his hard hit last week, 1 week after his win at Las Vegas, he's 19th in points, and so different strategies taking place here, and that means that drivers going to be on different pit sequences. Let's see what the strategy is going to be for the leader, Kyle Sosnoski. They're not going for any tires, but he had a slow pit stop. Dunlap-Pratt beat him off pit road. McCloud, I believe, might have beat him out as well. I don't know if Stephen Pollard III got off pit road ahead of him or not, and we did have quite a few drivers stay out. Brian James, Charles Jackson, James Silverfox, John Radigan, Chambers, Dougie Shears, Dylan Poteet, Tryphon Reid, Dylan Young, and Eric Burton all decided to stay out on the racetrack. And from what I'm seeing, 4 of those drivers are inside the top 10. Shears, Poteet, James, and Dylan Young. So we're under the caution for the first time today. Let's take a look and see what happened. Well, we saw it before. They were leaning on each other heading into these turns, and I guess it was just a matter of time before someone was going to shove somebody up. But it was really good racing here. Let's look up ahead here. Let's see. Oh, watch the 78 of Emilio Navarrete. Yeah, he got loose, slid up into Radigan. Radigan's going to clip both Dollarton and DeMarco, and I think Timmons just came up and got clipped by Sanford. And those 4 are going to wreck there. It's a wonder they didn't come down in front of some other drivers. Oh, man, Sanford, he actually did come down into the 39 of Alex Jones, but I think Alex got through that okay. And look at these guys, Poteet, Graves, Dylan Young, lots of drivers inside the top 10 in points that were able to get through this. And this is what's put us under our caution flag for the first time here today at Auto Club. The defending champ and quite a few other front runners involved here early at Auto Club Speedway. Let's head back to the green flag now and see exactly what the strategy is going to be. How are those other drivers that stayed out, how are they going to be able to stack up against the leaders who decided to pit? Getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Brian James, 1 week after picking up a top 5 finish at Altoona, he's up here now in the lead. Charles Jackson, our winner from 2 weeks ago at Las Vegas, he's in second. Silver Fox started this race in the top 5. He's up in 3rd. John Radigan is in 4th, and Adam Chambers completes the top 5. Second in points, Dougie Shears runs in 6th. 4th in points, Dylan Poteet is 7th. Tryphon Reid currently runs in 8th. Dylan Young, 7th in points. He's in 9th, and Eric Burton's going to complete the top 10. Those are the drivers that decided to stay out. From 11th on back, they all pitted. Dunlaprad's 11th, Sosnoski 12th, 13th is McCloud, 14th Pollard the 3rd, and Emilio Neverett 15th. Dawson Wise is 16th, Bob Jones 17th, 18th Alex Tanker, William Duncan in 19th, and 20th is Sean Galligan. And it's Jacob Lawler, the points leader, all the way back in 21st place. He must have had an awfully slow pit stop as well. Daniel Day is 22nd. A teammate Austin LaPlante is in 23rd. 24th is Sean Henley. 25th is Nick Millardo. 26th is Derricke Reid. Trent Dunham 27th. 28th Danny Wells. 29th place is Lyndon Wright. 30th is Pichu London. 31st Alex Jones. Prudence Littlejohn all the way back in 32nd. 33rd Max Russell. 34th place is Noah Hart. Tony Blaiser 35th, 36th Aaron Williams Jr., 37th Charles Samper, 38th place Alex DeMarco, 39th Zach Rogers with damage. Felix Graves also with damage in 40th. 41st Chris Dollerton. The only driver out of the race is the 23 of Andy Timmons. So we get ready to go back to green flag race. I wonder what happened to Felix Graves and Zach Rogers, because Felix Graves comes in as the rookie points leader and 5th in overall standing. So this is not what he wanted to have happen, and I don't know if it was something that happened as a follow-up wreck under caution or an incident on pit road. I just don't know. And Brian James, he left the inside line wide open, but he's fortunately going to get the run to be able to get down in front of Radigan. He nearly made a big mistake there. He could have gotten freight trained all the way to the back of the pack right there. That was a great job getting his car to pin down John Radigan and keep him in his rearview mirror. Dougie Shears, oh boy. Dougie Shears got loose, Chambers got loose, Poteet got loose. I haven't seen a truck here that's not been loose off of turn 4 and off of turn 2. And John Radigan riding right behind Brian James. You can bet he doesn't want to have to finish bridesmaid for the second week in a row. I think it'll be just a matter of time before he finally turns the heat up on the Napa Toyota. Well, how about right now? Here he comes down to the bottom. 24 looking for the lead. John Radigan, as Poteet is into 3rd. And look at this. Kyle Sosnoski restarted back in the, I believe it was I think he was 12th on the restart. He's already up to the 4th position, now looking for 3rd underneath of Dylan Poteet. So apparently, coming down pit road was a good thing for these guys. They're able to drive it hard now, not have to conserve quite as much fuel as these other guys who decided to stay out. Now, there only is 3 laps difference, so I don't know how much of a difference that's going to make. And I also don't know what the fuel window is for these guys. As Poteet now puts the slingshot job on Sosnoski, he'll try going back to the inside for 2nd. Oh man, Navarrete got loose there. Nearly went up into Brian James. That was close. Here comes Stephen Pollard, the 3rd down on the bottom. Dunlaprad, he was the first car off of pit road. He's coming on the inside line now up to the 5th position. Got a few more players as well that we haven't talked about. Bob Jones, William Duncan, and the points leader Jacob Lawler is on the inside line working his way back up to the front of the field. But I'll tell you, John Radigan, he's enjoying the view right now, kind of doing what Sosnoski did in the first half of this, or not the first half, but the first few laps of this race, just pulling away while everybody else contends for 2nd. Got a great truck right now, but he's got Stephen Pollard, the 3rd, coming on his inside line, and I think they're slowing down. I think the caution's out. Yes, it is. Caution is out for the 2nd time today. This time it happened, I believe it was on lap 10 of 25, and it's going to be involving, oh man, Adam Chambers, one of those drivers who decided to stay out. And Eric Burton, another driver who stayed out. Those two, that strategy just did not work out for them apparently. Chambers and Burton are wrecked. And these two drivers definitely didn't need something like this either. Both of them coming in midway in the field. Well, at least Eric Burton was. He was 20th in points. Adam Chambers was 34th in points. So he obviously really did not need this. And it looks like it could have very well been just a 2-car incident. And, well, wait a minute. Dollerton looked like he might have been heading for pit road. So Chris Dollerton may have had something to do with this. I don't know. But everybody's going to stay out now. Even the drivers that stayed out under our first caution will be staying out. So it's Radigan the leader. Stephen Pollard the 3rd is in 2nd. Poteet is in 3rd. 4th place is going to be Bob Jones. And 5th place, Dunlapraz. We look back at a replay of what happened to Chambers and Eric Burton. Now, they were 4 wide back here, just inside the top 15, and the contact's just going to come, and they start bouncing off each other. The 42 and the 09 make contact, and the 09 goes up into the 8. Then the 09 comes back down, bounces off the 42 of Jackson one more time. Going to bounce back up again, up the racetrack, up into Eric Burton. Finally, this time, it's just got to give. Eric Burton, you can see Eric Burton turn his wheel to the right. He wanted to be able to get off the 09, but the 09 just kept sliding up on him. And into the wall they go. And, Eric Burton's put in a very precarious situation there. He can't turn too far to the right or else he's going to turn his car dead up into the wall. So, that was just a racing incident there. And Eric Burton tried to avoid it. I'm sure Chambers tried to avoid it as well. But sometimes when you go sliding up there, you're just a passenger. And you just got to hope and pray your car's not going to slide up into somebody else. And a little bit of a face-to-face meeting there with Chambers and Eric Burton. Two of them maybe putting their hands up in the air, shrugging their shoulders, saying, I don't know what happened, but that's a tough break for both of those guys who have both taken their cars back behind the wall. Both could have possibly been en route with the strategies they were using on getting top 10 finishes today. And where is Chris Dollerton? Because there was something. Did Chris get involved in some incident earlier than this? Because he was way off the pace and he... No, I guess not. Alright, I guess not. Alright, I thought that the defending champ might have actually been turned around or something, but he's just badly damaged and way off the pace, so he had to come down pit road, get more damage repaired. So let's head back now to Green Flag Racing with John Radigan out in front. Going back to green on lap 15 of 25, give us a total of 11 laps to go here today at Auto Club. John Radigan trying to become the second rookie winner this season in the Truck Series. Prudence Littlejohn was the first at Phoenix. Second place in this restart is going to be Stephen Pollard third. Poteet up in fourth right now, or third rather, I'm sorry. Bob Jones is in fourth, and Dunlap Pratt is fifth. William Duncan now up to sixth. Seventh place is the pole sitter Sosnoski. Points leader Jacob Lawler currently runs in eighth. Ninth place is Emilio Navarrete, who's actually eighth in points, so he's having a great run. And Austin LaPlante's going to complete the top 10. Tryphon Reid's in 11th. Brian James back in 12th now. Charles Jackson 13th. 14th is last week's winner James McCloud, and Dougie Shears runs in 15th. 16th, Dylan Young. Nick Pollardo, 17th. Dawson Wise, 18th. 19th is Alex Tanker. And Daniel Day is going to complete the top 20. As I take a look here through the point standings, the only drivers who are in the top 10 in points that are not inside the top 20 on the racetrack right now are Felix Graves and Prudence Littlejohn. Everybody else is up inside the top 20 in one area or another. So that just shows you right there. These guys are knowing what consistency means to be able to stay inside the top 10 in points. Here we go, though. John Radigan getting ready to get us back underway. Drivers out after that incident, Eric Burton, Adam Chambers. They are the only retirees, including Andy Timmons, that have retired from today's race. We are past the halfway point, and the green flag is back out here at Auto Club. Radigan, you see him on the inside line. Pollard jumped to the outside line. The rule here is you cannot pass on the inside line at the stripe, or else you're going to get penalized. You can, however, try and go around the high side, and Pollard tried it and failed, as Poteet's going to take second. Third now goes to William Duncan. And here comes Poteet to the inside line. Big run for the 31. Dylan Poteet already has a Mobile Cup Series win this season. Came back at Phoenix International Raceway. Love to be able to win the trucks, but here comes the pole sitter back to the inside. Long time no see. Sosnoski finally works his way back up to the front, and it looks like he's going to drag race Radigan for the lead at the line. He just barely got him by a splitter. And here comes Emilio Navarrete. He's going to go 4 wide behind him. James McCloud, points leader Jacob Lawler, Poteet, Radigan. Keep it together, guys. Oh, man. Oh, boy. They're accordioning up. That's not a good sign. They are still 4 wide as McCloud takes the lead. Now here comes Dougie Shears. Here comes Charles Jackson. I want to keep an eye on this battle right here, though. This could be where it all happens. Something could break loose anytime, and there it is! Navarrete, Sosnoski, Pollard, Duncan, and Radigan. They're all up into the wall. Sosnoski is on his roof. You had to think something was going to erupt right there, and something did. Spinning on his top is the 7 of Sosnoski. Duncan and Stephen Pollard head for pit road. Few cars on the apron as they try to avoid that wreck, and the caution waves once again. And this time, that one hit home. A lot of top guns involved in that one, as Dougie Shears was the leader at the line. Oh, man, you just had to know when they were going almost 4 wide, 3 rows back, something was going to happen. And there is Emilio Navarrete, 8th in points. This was not what he needed to have happen. William Duncan involved. There's John Radigan, who led a majority of this race today. His day is over. Stephen Pollard III is on pit road. He's probably done for the day. A lot of drivers taking hard licks, and there he is in pit stall number 1, the pole sitter Kyle Sosnoski. A wild ride there. He tried using pit strategy, got himself back up to the front. No sooner was he up at the front, but he gets involved in this hard impact of a wreck that took himself and 5 others hard into the outside retaining wall. We're going to jump back, look at a replay of what happened, as Dougie Shears, second in points, is currently our leader with a little less than 10 laps to go. I don't know. You see this long enough, you just know it's going to happen. And it was pretty much inevitable here. They were 4 wide, 2 rows back. I said it was 3 rows back. It was 2 rows back. The question is, though, who's going to make the initial contact to start this incident? As we look here, maybe it's the... Oh, right there. Oh, man. I don't know if it was Poteet or who. I think a few cars actually snapped up there. Sosnoski looked loose. Pollard looked loose. And there you go. Navarrete, Duncan, Pollard, Sosnoski, and Radigan hardened the wall. Sosnoski and Radigan both got airborne. Sosnoski ended up being on his lid even when the car screeched to a halt. That is a wild ride for the pole sitter there in the 7. We told you that this is a speedway, which means the high speeds come into play. Well, I'll tell you, those high speeds, when you hit the wall the way they did right there, that can also cause your truck to go airborne. Right there was a perfect example of it. And that was one hard impact for all 5 of those drivers. We've gotten word William Duncan and Stephen Pollard III have been able to repair their cars, return to the racetrack. Question is, will they be up to speed? But I have a feeling that the 7, the 24, and the 78 may all be heading back to the garage area to join Andy Timmons, Adam Chambers, and Eric Burton. But the caution's out. We've got less than 10 to go. Let's go back for what could potentially be our final restart of the day. And when we do get our green flag back, it will be 5 laps remaining in today's event. Few questions, though. Who's going to be there at the end? Will we end up having a photo finish, which Auto Club is pretty famous for, especially coming out of turn 4, the runs that drivers can get? And last but not least, is this going to be a green flag 5-lap shootout? We have had some pretty interesting wrecks take place here. We've been under the caution quite a bit today. We'll have to see if these guys can keep it together for 5 laps and put on a good show here to end off today's event. Of course, if that's not the case, you can bet these guys are going to be racing hard for the lead right at the drop of the green flag, because they're going to want to be up at front just in case that caution flag comes out, so they can roll across the stripe with the yellow flag and the checker flag waving over their hood as the winner of this race. Dougie Shears is the leader. Charles Jackson up there in 2nd. James McCloud in 3rd. So our 2 most recent winners currently in 2nd and 3rd place, looking for their 2nd wins of the season. Dylan Young up there in 4th, and Jacob Lawler has now made his way back inside the top 5 in 5th. Bob Jones 6th, Tryphon Reid 7th, Brian James 8th, Daniel Day in 9th, and Dylan Poteet is in 10th. We'll give you the top 15 here. Danny Wells, James Silverfox, Dunn LaPrade, Austin LaPlante, and Alex Tanker. How about Aaron Williams Jr.? He was back around the mid-30s for most of this race. He's now worked his way up to the 18th position. I've been seeing this driver actually doing quite a bit of that in the last few weeks, where he runs near the back of the pack, then bides his time, moves himself up to about the 20th position with a few laps remaining, then comes away with a good run. We'll have to keep an eye on him. Remember, this is his home track, too, Aaron Williams Jr. He'd love to win here at Auto Club. But here we go. Green flag is out. 5 laps to go. Dougie Shears got a good start, but Charles Jackson stuck right with him, and he's going to dive it down low right from the get-go. I think Dougie was hoping Charles Jackson would be caught napping, but Charles Jackson is the former winner this season for nothing, and he ended up winning back at Las Vegas, which is fairly similar to this racetrack. They have quite a bit of similarities, but James McCloud, look at the run he got out of turn number 2. He's going to the inside line. He's bringing Lawler with him. Dylan Young going to be the meat in the sandwich there. Oh boy, don't bounce off of anybody. He almost got into Dougie Shears there. That was close. And James McCloud's going to be the leader coming off turn 4. Here comes Jacob Lawler. Points leader would love to be able to extend his points lead with a win here today, as McCloud's going to lead that lap. Here comes Jacob Lawler on the inside line. Brian James now going to go to the inside, looking 3 wide for 2nd. All of a sudden, Danny Wells is up here in the mix. Dunn LaPrade's moved his way back up here. Oh boy, something's going to go down here. I don't like this. They're getting awfully close. McCloud's got to be loving it, though. Brian James, though, he's been able to clear Jacob Lawler. Now he sets his sights on James McCloud. McCloud trying to pick up his second win in a row. And now there goes Lawler. The points leader just got turned with the help of Danny Wells. Caution flag is out. This race may be over. James McCloud comes down. He may have just under caution won his second race in a row and his second of the season. And the points leader was the one that brought out the final caution with a little help from the Quaker State Chevy Silverado. That was not what I expected to see, and there he is, Jacob Lawler, trying to nurse that car across the start-finish line. Heavy-duty front-end damage to his Dodge Ram. And oh my goodness, that was not the way I expected this race to end. I couldn't tell who the other driver was. There was another driver behind Danny Wells, who I think may have been privy to that wreck occurring, but nonetheless, it did bring out the caution. James McCloud may be thanking his lucky stars right now. He may very well have just won this thing by being in the right place at the right time. We're going to have a total of 2 to go when they come across the stripe next time by. I don't think we'll get back to green, but regardless of the fact, we're going to jump back now, take a look at a replay of what happened to Danny Wells, Jacob Lawler. This could have huge implications as far as who's going to be the points leader heading into next week. Well, here it was. And the contact's going to go between Danny Wells and Don LaPrade. And it was Charles Jackson was the other driver I saw go up there, but I think he got through it okay. Well, maybe not. Oh, man. Hard lick into the passenger side door of the 42. He goes down to Danny Wells. They're going to go up into the wall. And that is a tough, tough break there for several drivers. Charles Jackson came into this race 19th in points. Danny Wells 17th. And Jacob Lawler came in the ever-important position number 1 as the points leader. And that is a tough break for those drivers right there. There is Danny. He came down pit road. Lawler actually kept his car on the racetrack. I don't know if he's going to roll around and try and finish in the 30th position, which is where I think he currently was running. Might have been 34th. I don't know. They may have not updated the scoreboard, but nonetheless, that's a tough break for Jacob Lawler, who was running inside the top 10 for a majority of the day, and he gets involved here in what I believe is going to be our final caution of the day. Let's jump back as the white flag has been displayed to James McCloud. Just a matter of right place, right time for James McCloud. That caution coming out at just the right moment. I don't know for certain, but Brian James had cleared Jacob Lawler for second, so he was able to go into rundown mode if it was necessary. We may have ended up having a battle between James McCloud and Brian James for this win, but that caution coming out in a good way for McCloud and a bad way for Brian James. And Brian James, he will get yet another top 5 finish. So great run for him in second. But James McCloud's going to be the first 2-time winner this season in the Truck Series. He's going to win back-to-back weekends. He won last week at Altoona, wins this week at Auto Club. He's putting on quite a dominating performance. And tell you what, if you're going to get wins, try and get them early. That could help you if you have a dismal middle of the season. That could help you maybe clinch a wild card spot. And McCloud may be thinking about that. And I'll tell you something else he's clinched. If he can make it around, no mechanical problems, no nothing, and pick up this win, James McCloud will be the new points leader heading into next week's race. So James McCloud killing 2 birds with 1 stone maybe. Maybe making some plans heading into the chase, and also making some plans here for having a dominating season and leading the points. As here we come out of turn number 4 for the final time. The Kellogg's Frosted Flakes 200 are going to go to the first multi-time winner of Season 6. James McCloud, at a measly 65 miles per hour, rolls down the front straightaway, checker flag in the flagman's hand, and he waves it over the hood of the Bass Pro Shop Chevy Silverado from Turner Motorsports. James McCloud wins today at Auto Club Speedway. And a lot of drivers got some well-needed finishes to at least try and keep within close contact of the new points leader. As we take a look at our official top 10, Brian James, as mentioned, nice runner-up spot for him. Don LaPrade going to finish the day in 3rd. Bob Jones in 4th. 5th place is going to be James Silverfox. That's a great run for him. Dylan Young, 7th in points. He'll finish 6th today. Poteet, 4th in points, finishes in 7th. Prudence Littlejohn, 10th in points, finishes 8th. Austin LaPlante going to finish today in 9th. He's 18th in points. This could help move him up close to the top 10 standings. And Dougie Shears, who came in 2nd in points, he rallies back for a top 10 finish in 10th place. So McCloud obviously is going to have a points lead heading into next week, but quite a few drivers who came in right around the same area he was in the standings, also getting top 10 finishes, so McCloud's lead won't be that big. Question is, though, just how far ahead of everybody else is he going to be, and will that be a good enough cushion for him to maybe dominate the rest of the season? Don't know. We're going to find all the answers to those questions out when we head into next week's race, but we still got Mobile and Stickers Cup Series action coming your way here from Auto Club Speedway. Hope you'll tune in for that. Please like this video if you enjoyed today's race. Subscribe to become part of the crew today. Congratulations once again to James McCloud becoming the first multi-time winner this season, being a back-to-back winner here in the Truck Series. As you've been watching production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.